The delivery. The delivery room hummed with a sterile, expectant energy. Sarah, exhausted but triumphant, cradled her newborn son, Leo. He was perfect, a tiny, wrinkled miracle. As she gazed at him, a nagging worry, a phantom limb of her prenatal research, resurfaced. Microplastics. The invisible invaders. She remembered the studies, the alarming reports of these microscopic plastic particles found in everything from bottled water to placentas. And then, the even more unsettling research on their potential impact on developing cells, on stem cells. Leo's own stem cells, so vital for his growth and repair, now potentially exposed to a world saturated with plastic. Months passed in a blur of sleepless nights and tender moments. Leo thrived, a robust, curious infant, but Sarah couldn't shake the feeling. She noticed the plastic toys, the plastic packaging of baby food, the synthetic fibers of his clothes. Every item seemed to whisper a silent concern. One afternoon, while Leo slept soundly in his crib, Sarah found herself scrolling through scientific journals on her tablet. Sarah, you're letting the what-ifs get to you. Leo is healthy. He's growing. That's what matters. I know, Mark, she'd reply, her voice tight. But what if there are long-term consequences we don't even understand yet? What if this is a silent threat? Sarah decided to take a proactive approach. She started a meticulous process of reducing their household's plastic exposure. Glass bottles replaced plastic ones. She switched to wooden toys and natural fiber clothing for Leo. She began making baby food from scratch, avoiding pre-packaged options. She even installed advanced water filters. It was an uphill battle, an exhausting crusade against an omnipresent foe. She also decided to speak with Leo's pediatrician, Dr. Evans, a kind woman with a gentle demeanor. Sarah explained her concerns, her voice trembling slightly as she detailed the research she'd encountered. Dr. Evans listened patiently, her expression thoughtful. Sarah, I understand your worries, Dr. Evans said, her voice calm. The research on microplastics is indeed evolving, and it's a valid area of concern for public health. We are seeing increasing evidence of microplastic presence in the human body, and the long-term effects, especially on vulnerable populations like infants, are still being investigated. Dr. Evans acknowledged the studies Sarah mentioned, particularly those concerning stem cells. The potential for microplastics to interact with stem cells, affecting their function and differentiation, is a significant area of research. These particles are so small, they can potentially enter cells or trigger inflammatory responses that could indirectly impact cellular processes, including those of stem cells crucial for development. However, Dr. Evans also tempered Sarah's anxieties with a dose of reality. It's important to remember that correlation doesn't equal causation. While we see microplastics present, definitively linking them to specific developmental issues in individual infants is incredibly complex. Leo's development appears to be progressing normally, which is a very positive sign. She suggested focusing on what Sarah could control. Your efforts to reduce plastic exposure are commendable, Sarah. Maintaining a healthy diet, ensuring Leo gets plenty of physical activity, and providing a nurturing environment are all vital for his overall health and development. These are the most impactful factors we can influence directly. Dr. Evans also mentioned that research was ongoing. Scientists are working to develop better methods for detecting microplastics in biological samples and to understand their precise mechanisms of action. As our understanding grows, so will our ability to mitigate risks. Leaving the pediatrician's office, Sarah felt a sense of relief, not because her fears were entirely dispelled, but because she felt heard and validated. She understood that she couldn't shield Leo from every potential harm in the world, but she could create a healthier environment for him, and she could advocate for greater awareness and research. As Leo grew, he remained a vibrant, healthy child. Sarah continued her efforts to minimize plastic, but she also learned to find a balance, to not let her anxieties overshadow the joy of motherhood. She knew that the world Leo was growing up in was imperfect, filled with challenges she couldn't always foresee or control. But she also knew that she was equipping him with resilience, with a healthy foundation, and with a mother's unwavering love. She often thought about the future, about the scientific advancements that would hopefully shed more light on the microplastic issue. She hoped that by the time Leo was an adult, the world would have found better solutions, cleaner alternatives. Until then, she would continue to do her best, to nurture her son in a world increasingly entangled with plastic, hoping that his own remarkable stem cells would prove more robust than the tiny invaders. The fight was ongoing, a quiet, persistent effort in the face of a global challenge. But for Leo, she would keep fighting. If you are a mother concerned about the growing scientific findings of microplastics in our bodies and those of our children, please consider sharing this video with friends and family so that together we are informed and can protect our children better. Also, watch the other videos appearing on your screen now. Together we can beat microplastics.